You're listening to Gin and Chat with Lo and Nat. So pour yourself a chilled martini and sit down for a chat.
Welcome back
To Gin and Chat.
with Lo and Nat. Welcome to our grand foyer.
We are in my parents' home.
I know what you're thinking. They're in a castle. We rented a castle for the podcast.
Our new set is just my castle that I'm the princess of.
You know what? I bet you can rent a castle on Pier Space.
100%.
I bet that's a thing. So maybe we will rent a castle one day. But for now, we're just in Lauren's childhood home.
Yes, this is like my grandma's old furniture, so It is giving grand.
It's giving iconic grandeur.
Reinita Lopez made sure she had that iconic furniture. It used to be covered with plastic.
Oh,
Like,
it's
back
that
in the day
iconic.
when they would do that?
Mm-hmm. Also, I feel like if you guys could feel the texture, I want you to like imagine like a thick like jacquard. I think that's what they call it.
I don't
Or it's
think
like
I've ever heard
embossed
that word.
fabric.
Okay.
We used to have a couch like this too, and then we got rid of it. But it's like they used to always make couches out of this, and it's like shiny. It's very
Yeah.
It's very fancy.
60s.
I'm feeling like a princess,
Me too. I always feel like a princess in this home.
which is really fitting because we're not talking about anything royal today.
No, nothing, actually.
We're talking about quite the opposite. We're going to talk about crash outs and burnouts.
We personally, I think since we turned 27 and they say that you go through your Saturn return, I call it a Saturn return, call it just a year-long crash out. I don't know what's happening, but we both have been experiencing this crash out burnout cycle. So we wanted to talk a little bit about it today and some tools that we've found to get us through it.
Yeah.
And
And that's that.
and that's the crash out burnout intro.
Basically, I saw something online and I think it's so true. The whole world feels this way, but ever since the Eras tour ended, honestly, I think
I thought you were going to
everyone's been
say ever
crashing.
since COVID, things have been so different. Like you were going to go that route. But
No.
you know what? You're right.
Right?
Ever since this summer didn't feel the same.
It didn't, because the Eras tour spread joy and positivity, and I think we're just all lacking that now.
Yeah. Come on, TS12. We need you to come back.
Life
For
of the show,
literally
girl.
humanity's sake.
For everybody's sake.
Humanity is riding on those 12 songs. So I need you to come back
And hopefully my
immediately.
employment.
And Natalie's unemployed. So we need to figure something out. Hence
Yay.
why we're at my parents' house podcasting today.
And crashing out and burning out.
Yeah. I was going to say something about the princess treatment here, though, because we do, like, everybody gets princess treatment here. And especially if you're
Me
my
included.
friend, you get princess treatment here. Like, my dad makes the cappuccinos in the morning. Yesterday, we had a pool day. We were brought out.
Never seen it before in my
I asked him to
life.
bring us some water because we were drinking Hampton water. So, not exactly water. Like, we actually need some H2O.
Totally.
And he brought out some water and then a huge thing of watermelon over ice. So by the
Never
time we
seen
got
that.
out of the pool, it would still be cold and it was covered.
You know you're spoiled when you get sliced watermelon over ice. Like, who
I was
does
like,
that?
what?
I know.
And what's hilarious is my dad grew up like in Strathmore. If anyone knows where that is, it's like by Bakersfield, small town, Orange Groves, all boys in his family. Like he did not know how to even treat a woman or a girl. Like he was not surrounded by that, you know?
But he learned.
And then now he's here just like spoiling me and my mom all the time.
Yeah.
And just
And
he
me.
grew up, I guess.
It's the best. Every time I come
so
home,
butterfly.
I say home because it's like a second home.
Yeah, Natalie was like, oh, so like when am I coming home? I mean, home is in your home.
And every time I come back, I walk in and I'm like, I'm back.
My parents are like, our second daughter.
It's the best. Last night we went to dinner. We had margaritas and tacos. And I said, oh, isn't this such a nice family dinner?
And honestly, my parents were like, yeah, it is a nice family dinner.
Also, can we backtrack? Did you call it Hampton water?
What is it?
Summer water.
Sorry, guys. They literally gifted
You know
it.
what?
So I
Lauren
100%
is
know
just
that.
thinking rich, royal.
I'm just thinking like
Hamptons.
I'm wearing a striped collared shirt. I would like to be in the Hamptons.
You're giving
You
me
have
Hamptons,
glasses
Mom.
on.
Yeah.
We're giving smart East Coast girls.
I like that.
I love a smart East Coast girl.
Even though I've literally only been like once or twice. We're such West Coast girls, but we can
Same.
cosplay today.
We'll cosplay, which is what we're doing. And we're drinking Liquid Death. So actually, maybe this is where my head is at too. This is literally called the Dead Billionaire.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's the name of it.
Wait, that's
so
so
it's
awesome.
a tea, lemonade, agave, and vitamins is what they say. So it's basically a healthier Arnold Palmer.
Yeah.
That doesn't have too much sugar. It only has 4 grams of added sugar, which is very pleasant to hear. And it has
It's very pleasing to my ears. Also, if you guys have never had just liquid death water, I don't know what they do.
So good.
I don't know where it's from, but it's genuinely the best water I've ever had. And the first time I tried it was here. I remember.
Of course.
Because everyone thinks based on the cans. I mean, it's giving energy drink.
Right.
Like, this looks terrifying.
And they used to be really big too.
The tall boys.
You would think it was like a monster
or
something.
a beer or something. And
a beer, yeah.
Your dad was like, oh, I have this water, try it. And I'm looking at it like, that's water? I thought this whole time it was an energy drink. But yeah, let me try it.
So
Life
good.
is forever changed. So
if you actually mix it's like a lemon sparkling one, lemon sparkling water, I guess, with tequila, and then just squeeze either lemon or lime in it, it's so good.
I'm inspired.
Yeah. And then it doesn't have a bunch of sugar in it, but it's still flavorful.
I'm all about a skinny cocktail.
My dad never drinks water. It's a thing. Such an Italian man. He only drinks espresso and like Diet Coke.
Coffee running through those veins.
The only way that this man could drink water is if it was in a can like that and it said liquid death on it. So I was like, you know what? Whatever it takes for you to drink some water.
Yes.
I'll be here with my cute little Stanley, but absolutely.
I also heard that it's a marketing stint for like for people that struggle with
water,
like alcohol, and it's supposed to be a sober alternative.
Okay, so yes, I used to work this makes sense. I didn't even put that together, but Rock to Recovery.
Yeah.
I used to work for a nonprofit called Rock to Recovery. Shout out them.
Such a giver.
Wes Aguirre is so cool. He used to tour with Korn as the guitarist.
So cool.
Insane. But he had a really bad addiction problem and struggled with it. And he's since gotten sober. And Rock to Recovery basically brings rock music or the creation of music to sober living facilities.
So cool.
Because the same part of your brain that you create with creating music is the same part that you heal with. So it's really interesting. And he's really doing the Lord's work. But when I was assisting him at his benefit concert, Liquid Death was one of the sponsors and they handed it out. So that actually makes perfect sense.
Yes, because it's supposed to emulate holding a beer can. So it helps people that are going through recovery have an alternative to that. Don't know why I know so much about that.
So that's so cool. I love that.
But here we are. So thanks, Liquid Death.
So that's what we're drinking today.
We'll give you some ASMR and then we'll cut to part 2 and we'll actually chat about crash outs and burnouts. Because we love to chat. This is hard to do one-handed. If you guys could see us now.
Ooh, that was pretty good.
And we're back.
And we're back, baby. Crash outs and burnouts. We're going to start today with a little essay.
We're going to take it back to school.
Natalie has glasses on. I have a collared shirt. I had to wear a uniform to school every day from 7th grade to 12th grade.
I'm kind of jealous because I always struggled with picking out outfits. I think it was the type A stress ball change person in me. But stress ball change. I had to pick out my outfit every night before school. Otherwise, I would have a panic attack in the morning.
The panic attack is extreme, but I just can't fathom having a panic attack over that. But I also know that's just how
that's just how I am.
And it really was helpful having just your uniform.
Yeah.
Because decision fatigue is a real thing.
Absolutely.
And in the morning I'd be like, okay, I know I can wake up because which collared shirt am I going to wear today?
Well, and I was an anxious child, you know? It gave me stomach aches. Then I ended up going to therapy for my stomach aches. I know.
Okay, so let's lead into crash outs and burnouts.
We'll circle back to that one day.
Step 1, go to therapy. Okay, so I do want to start with a little essay today. This is one of my dear friends who I did a tour with, and it was his first dance job was this touring show. And months after the show ended, he sent me this essay. He's back in school, and I just thought I'd share a little bit. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's quite long, and it's quite good. He got an A on his paper. Let that be noted, okay? But I do want to talk about how he started. Okay. I had been recruited quickly for a Star Wars-themed burlesque show. That's what I got. That's what it was. An opportunity that felt almost too good to be true. Excitement buzzed through me leading up to the performance. I was finally a professional dancer. But as soon as I arrived and saw my castmates move, heard them casually talk about the national tours they had done, the music videos they had starred in, and the choreographers they had worked with, that excitement twisted into something else, doubt. Their social media pages were filled with clips of them performing with effortless precision, exuding the confidence of seasoned professionals. I, on the other hand, felt like I had slipped in through the cracks, an amateur among the stars.
Damn.
We've all felt that way.
Absolutely.
So later on, he talks about a story with me, which is why he sent it to me. He goes, weeks later, during free time, a few of us started rehearsing a separate piece for fun, something to film for social media. I watched as my castmate, Lo, that's me, moved through the choreography. She was mesmerizing. Every step, every transition, even her posture oozed confidence and precision. She was the kind of dancer I had been measuring myself against, the kind I envied. Then, as we got ready to film solos, she suddenly blurted out, I feel like everyone's doing better than me. I don't know if I can do this. I froze. I had just been watching her, completely in awe, convinced that she was on another level, untouchable, and yet here she was, doubting herself just like I had been. It hit me like an epiphany. No matter how talented you are, no matter how much experience you have, self-doubt can still creep in. Maybe I was not as far behind as I thought. Maybe I was better than I had been giving myself credit for. I did not hesitate to tell Lo that what I thought. I just watched you eat that shit up, in quotes, in his paper.
Yes.
I told her, shaking my head, you're one of the best dancers I know, but as I said it, something clicked. I realized that if she, someone I admired so much, could doubt herself, then maybe my own self-doubt was not proof that I did not belong. Maybe it was just part of the process.
Oof. I love that so much. It gave me the chills the first time I heard it because I think we can all relate to that so much. But I think as far as crash outs and burnouts go, it's very interesting, but that imposter syndrome feeling, I think, can often lead to having a crash out and having a burnout because you're not being fulfilled in yourself. You're not giving yourself that positive self-talk. You're not fulfilling your own cup. And so you end up just working so hard because you're almost trying to overcompensate because you feel like you're not adequate, you're not enough, you're not fitting in. And so you're overworking yourself. And that's what can often lead to.
And it's led from a feeling of lack. It's led from that feeling of anxiety.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
so part of the essay, obviously I didn't want to read like the whole entire thing. It was great. And maybe, honestly, maybe I should ask him if I can post it or something. Just like little
so you
little
guys
clips.
can read the full thing if you
Yeah,
want.
yeah, if we can maybe link it. But
I love that.
Part of the story was after he had gotten there and he felt that imposter syndrome hitting him, he then went to our week of tech rehearsals. And this show, I mean, it's always stressful when you're putting together a show in any capacity. Specifically for this one, there was 3 new people to the cast. It was me, my friend Mariah, and then my friend Ali who wrote this. And we were joining a cast that had already been doing the show and touring the show for months now. So they were seasoned. They had it down. They had the costumes. We had 3 days to tech it, do a dress rehearsal, and then opening night was Wednesday, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So it was a very stressful time. And after he had that imposter syndrome hit him, he went into that already stressful 3 days and just fell and got, he was being told like, you need to step it up basically by the people that are in charge. And that's never a good feeling. But he was so over encompassed with the imposter syndrome and going from that place of lack already that nothing he was going to do was going to be enough because he didn't feel like he was enough.
Yeah.
And then later on, when he saw me have a season of doubt, but then even when I had that moment of doubt, I continued and did the solo that I was scared to do because fear is always going to be there.
Yep.
It's never going away. It's how you use your fear that's what matters.
Yeah.
So when he saw me even have a doubtful moment, but then go in and use my fear and actually do it, he was like, oh, it's not because I'm not enough. The reason I'm having these feelings isn't because I'm not enough. It's just because I'm human. It's just because this is part of the process. Yeah. And then once he made that shift, he continues on in the essay to say, then I felt like I was performing. I was dancing. I was embodying that version of myself that I wanted to be able to give to the audience while I was on stage. So go Ali for sharing this. I think it was a perfect segue into what we're talking about today.
And I think it also shows the power of not being alone and reminding yourself that, whenever we talk about subjects like this, we always get comments from you guys saying, oh, it was so comforting hearing that. Like, I'm so glad to know that I'm not the only one going through these crash outs and periods of burnout. No, we are all experiencing it likely at the same time.
Disclaimer, no one knows what they're fucking doing, okay?
This is life. Welcome to it.
So I grab yourself a gin martini.
You know what?
And sit down for a chat.
That's how we'll get through. But But yeah, it just shows you that everyone has those feelings. And I think it's more comforting to know that you're not alone in an experience and everything is a shared experience. So it's better to just air out your feelings. Yeah. It's always better to be honest and open about how you feel, let others in, because we're not meant to go through life alone. That's a really powerful message Lauren and I were learning about in church yesterday.
Yes, we went to Mosaic, Studio City. It was really fun. It was both of our first times going to the Studio City part.
Yeah, and they'd been in Hollywood. Basically saying that you're not like a whole person on your own. You have to reach up and you also have to reach out. Ooh. You have to reach out to the people around you, and that's what's going to support and lift you up.
Right? Because then you realize no matter where anyone is at or what you see on social media either, we're all in the same boat. Mm-hmm. We all have the same feelings that are going towards our lives and just trying to piece it together and do our best.
Yeah. So we're just airing them out online for you. You're welcome.
Yeah. So
you're so welcome.
Take it to a personal level. Natalie and I both have been experiencing, obviously, the crash out burnout.
Heavily.
So, okay, backtrack. Mm-hmm. I got off that job. And when you especially are in a performance career, it's so difficult to navigate because you work so hard to get to a point where you succeed something you want to achieve. You get that goal. Mm-hmm. And then you get the goal. And oftentimes while you're in the goal, you're thinking, oh my God, the goal's going to end.
Yep.
And then what after that?
Yep.
So you're almost like having a crash out while you're doing the thing that you worked so hard for. Mm-hmm. And then when it ends, if your worthiness is tied up in that job or in that goal, you will inevitably feel lost.
I just died dead because
do you want me to add some gin to our liquid death now?
Please. This is not the episode to be sober for.
What are we actually thinking?
But no, that's exactly how I felt coming off of tour. It's you work so hard to achieve this one goal, and then you stand around at the top of the mountain, and oftentimes it's hard to be present on the journey up and at the top.
Totally.
Because you're focused on the insecurities and the hard work and the pushing through adversity and all of those things. And it's like your friend in that essay was saying, he found himself when you have that imposter syndrome or whatever it may be.
To go back to like a personal level from Nat and I, when we both got off certain jobs, we were both feeling kind of lost.
And it happened at the same time.
And our lives are parallel, if you haven't noticed by now. We both were feeling very lost. And I came home and I just was like, what is next? Where do I see myself next? And I was coming into that with from a place of lack, from a place of unworthiness. And I didn't really understand that it was that. And I remember I had a mentor ask me, because I'm done with dance. Okay, that's the backstory. She was like, do you feel like you're done with dance because you are not booking the jobs that you want to book? Or are you just done with dance because you genuinely are done?
Two very different things.
Very different things. And at the time, I was like, I think I'm just done. I'm not. But then when I had a moment to really get quiet and reflect, it's like, no, it's because I'm not believing in myself enough to get to the next goal, to get to the next step. Because there is a certain level of vulnerability that comes with, I want to go after that. And if I fail, I'm going to fail hard. And I'm going to fail loud because people also know and see that I want to go after that. That's vulnerable.
Absolutely.
So I had to really listen to myself. And when I did, I do want to do other things.
Yeah.
But in that time where I was just trying to find something else to identify with coming from a place of lack, Natalie and I were experiencing that at the same time. And we thought, you know what? Let's start... Sorry, I can't even say it with a straight face.
I know.
Let's start a fitness studio.
But it's not hard to say it with a straight face because I think it is a fabulous idea and I think it connects to both of us in a different way. It just wasn't.
I'm just thinking, it makes me laugh thinking of the energy that we both had going into it.
100%.
Because it's not like the idea wasn't good. It was great. It is great.
Still is.
And it's not like the execution that we had wasn't great because it is. But the energy that we came in with was off, and we didn't even realize that at the time.
It was our why. Our why was wrong. because our why was coming from a place of desperation and a scarcity mindset. And we were afraid of what was next in our own personal lives. And so what we did was we just ran with this idea because it felt like the only choice. It felt like,
yes, it did.
It felt like the only choice at the time. I know for me, I, got off a job, booked another job kind of right after. So I didn't have to think about it. And I know my personal issue is I do place a lot of my value on achievements and success. And so when I booked something quickly after, I felt successful. I felt fine. It didn't bother me. Then it was after that when things started getting really slow and I then started to question, what am I doing with my life? I suck. I'm not good enough. Why am I not booking things? Why am I not working? And that's when I think I ran away because I was scared to pursue and continue to push forward because I was scared of what other people would think of me coming off of being successful, which is the complete wrong mindset to have. And because I was scared of how others would view me, instead of just persevering and finding my own lane and being fulfilled in myself, I chose to just completely pivot and run away. And that's when it was, what can I possibly do that's not dance? And we just happened to go through it at the same time.
Yeah.
And, no regrets with Gin and Chat because obviously
this is awesome.
This is awesome. And I think over time we learned this is where we actually feel aligned. And it's still a creative expression for us that's not movement, but it still fulfills us in the same way that I think dance does.
Yeah.
And so over time, after a few months of grinding, like when I tell you I was probably arguably working more than a 9-to-5 between these two business ideas.
It was a lot. We had, if we gave it the green light, it would have gone.
We were at the point where we had, an over 20-page long business plan fully fledged out with marketing plans, schematics, designs, everything.
Yep.
And then we had potential locations that I was going to view in person. I was physically walking into spaces thinking about.
This was going to be in Arizona too.
So and then we formed the LLC. It was a legal business.
Everything, again, if we would have given it the green light, we would have been driving down that road still.
Yeah, and I think it's important to talk about this openly and share with you guys because it shows that it's okay to change your mind.
Yes.
We freaked out about this so many times, but when we finally were honest with each other and we sat down and cried and we just genuinely looked at our life and we were thinking, this is not what I want. This is not actually fulfilling me right now. Maybe it will someday, but at this age and where we're headed, we both know that we're not done with dance. This is not what we want to be doing. And we're both running away from something for X, Y, and Z.
Right.
And we crashed and we burned. And we had to
the ground.
fully reevaluate and decide what are actually our priorities.
Yeah.
What do we need to focus on? And then it became Gin and Chat, and that became our whole focus.
To give you some context as well, on my end, I came off that job and I was feeling really out of touch with my body. I had undiagnosed PCOS that was going crazy, and that already can make you feel crazy. And trying to do a dance career with that, you have to be so in tune with your body to be able to pursue that art form. So I was feeling all over the place. Even before we had this discussion about the fitness studio, I literally, kid you not, said, I'm going to be an entertainment lawyer.
Like what?
Listen,
not that I don't think you could.
I think you'd be fabulous.
Lawyer. I think you'd be fabulous.
I would be phenomenal in that field. I was so committed. I bought an LSAT prep book. I did research on what schools I would want to go to. I started studying for my LSAT.
I'm screaming. Real life suits right here.
I told people, like friends,
yeah,
I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to do this. I told my parents, I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to spend this time next year. I'm going to go to law school, blah, 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 blah. I cannot believe it. And I had a moment, and it's always the little tiny pings that get you back on track with your authenticity.
That gut feeling.
Yes. It was when we were in Vienna.
Of course.
Always Vienna. And I just had a moment, and I said, this isn't my path right now.
Nope.
And it was a moment of clarity. I don't know where it came from. Call it whatever you want. I call it God. It really was kind of a come to Jesus moment where I said, I can't do this right now. Could you imagine how different my life would look if I committed to it? Because if there's one thing about Natalie and I, when we commit to something, we commit. fully.
This podcast is a perfect example.
Exactly.
Because I was talking to someone over the weekend. The podcast got brought up. It's somebody I had just met. And they were saying, so how often do you release episodes? I said, weekly. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Every Friday.
No question.
And he was like, oh, wow. I think he was shocked at the level of commitment at such an early stage. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, yeah, there's really no choice, because how embarrassing would it be if we said, let's start a podcast and then we didn't try?
Let this be on record. It is more embarrassing to not try than to try and fail.
Ooh, because at least if it fails, but you tried, you did your best.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Move on. Do something else. But if you don't try, that's so much more embarrassing because you only half-assed something. You wasted time and energy.
Right.
And of course you're not going to get the outcome you want because you didn't try.
Exactly. And so we go all in.
We do.
We go all in. So I was about to go all in to be the best entertainment lawyer in Los Angeles.
And you know what? Someday she might.
And I was Elle Woods up, and I remember out by my parents' pool, and I was on a floaty.
Yeah.
And I was just talking to my mom about potentially wanting to go to law school, and I was like, wow, I'm so Elle Woods right now. I was so committed. But that little ping came in, and I decided, you know what? Not right now. And I remember just bargaining with myself a little bit and saying, let's listen to this.
Yeah.
And if by 30 I'm still feeling lost in this field or just in life, then okay, we'll commit to that.
And sometimes the idea of something is so much better than the reality.
Yeah.
And it's okay to be a dreamer.
Yeah.
It's okay to write down on a piece of paper, these are all the things I could possibly imagine myself doing. Do your research. There's so many career choices out there, and I don't think you should get stuck. I think you should expand your horizons and be excited by a lot of different opportunities.
Yep.
But the reality of it is maybe 90% of those things you will actually hate, but you don't know that until you try sometimes.
Exactly. So I was coming off of my lawyer career, my short-lived lawyer career, my short-lived lawyer prep.
Yep.
And still feeling lost within dance. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll do this and this. And I did try a bunch of different things, but there was always that little ping that said, you're not done with this yet. Keep going. But then when we came up with the idea for the fitness studio, I was still coming from that place of lack and feeling lost.
Yep.
And I agreed all in, even to move to Arizona.
Yep.
And slowly our own control started to release, and the plans started to unwind in a way that we just did not expect it to go. I for sure, without a hinder of doubt in my mind, thought at this point, we would be up and running. The studio would be getting ready. We'd be training instructors.
Absolutely.
I'd be living in Arizona. By August, almost September.
That was the plan,
That was fully the plan. And so when we released control, that's when it started to unwind. And it was so uncomfortable because we both were like, wait, but this was supposed to happen. And we were supposed to do this, but now we can't ignore these feelings that we're having and this part of our gut that's telling us that we aren't done yet in LA or in this field or just other goals that we want to achieve.
And when you put a lot of work into something, it's hard for you to walk away from it.
And we had people challenged us too. There was someone in particular where Natalie called me and was like, I just talked to this person and let them know that we're not continuing forward with this. And this person gave her so much crap about it. It was pretty insane. But Natalie felt bad because it was like, oh my gosh, we did tell these people we're going to do this and now we're not following through. And does that mean that I'm a failure? No. You are allowed to change your mind. If nothing is binding yet, even if it is, like, there is a way for you to change your mind if you are coming from a place of authenticity and respect and listening to your gut feeling.
And it would have been so much worse if we would have continued on with something that wasn't authentic to us, that we weren't fully committed to. And then eventually, when we were even further in it and deeper into it, then we would have had to pull back, and it would have been so many more consequences would have come about. So I think, the important lesson is nothing is a failure. Everything is a lesson. So what we went through and the process that we did and everything we learned through that process, I mean, I did things I never thought I was capable of.
Same.
I went to these, see these locations, not knowing anything about starting a business and having to talk to these annoying men in suits who didn't think I was capable.
We also understood how we work together. which was honestly a great lesson for Gin and Chat.
Absolutely.
We have strengths and weaknesses that balance each other out.
Yeah.
And I think we would have never learned that if we didn't go through that process involving those other people.
Absolutely. Yeah. But it's, we trusted our gut, and at the end of the day, we walked away when we knew we couldn't commit to it, and now we're feeling so much lighter, so much more fulfilled, and it's not coming from a place of desperation or insecurity anymore. It's genuinely just aligning with who we are and what we want.
And beautiful things happen when you released your control. Once we did, it started aligning in so many different areas of our life. We're like, oh my gosh, this is working out now, and this is working out, and this is growing.
Yeah.
And I don't think that would have happened if we were still holding on so tight to our idea of what our life was going to look like these next few years. Absolutely. Sometimes you have to release control for your highest self.
Yeah. I also want to just touch on, our tactics and strategies for when you are feeling those moments of crash out, burnout come on, because I know we all experience it. I think our society as a whole, our culture is meant to push towards success and constantly working, and we don't prioritize taking breaks. Yeah. And it's also the comparison and the constant competition. You're always thinking, I could do more.
And you're always thinking that other person is doing more. Look at what they're doing. Look at what they're posting.
Yep.
We also have such a fast or short attention span. You're scrolling, or you see how many faces do you see a day on your phone?
So many.
How many pieces of dopamine hits do you get before you just get numb with it? It's so crazy. Like, the society we're living in is actually insane.
I know. And I find myself too, I'll be the doom scroller at night. And sometimes I won't even know why I'm doing it.
Right.
I will just pick up my phone. It's a habit. I open the app and I'm like, what am I gaining from this? Absolutely nothing. So let's talk about a few things that we do when you feel that crash out, that burnout come on, when you're just absolutely depleted and exhausted. How do you come out of that?
The way that I thought that I used to come out of that is by being go, go, go. I've learned the way that I actually come out of it is by sitting still and getting silent. Silent with for me, I believe in God and I believe in a higher power. So for me, it's getting silent with God and letting him speak to me. My grandma gave me, so crazy, the night before her funeral, I found a sticky note in the corner of my childhood closet. And it said, when you have a problem in life, close your eyes and hear God's voice. So I always go back to literally that simple sentence.
Yeah.
And I think when I started doing that, coming off of all of our plans, that's when I started realizing and being guided with my intuition. It's hard to connect to your intuition, and it's kind of hard to even explain over a podcast because it's such an obviously personal thing. But I think know what brings you stillness and what brings you silence and go to that. Maybe that's a walk for you. Maybe that's a crazy cycling workout class where you're in it and you just have those adrenalines rushing. But what brings you to that moment of clarity? And then just wait for the answer, because it will come.
Yeah.
It's a very spiritual response I just said.
It was. But that's Lauren for you.
That's me. Okay.
So I would say my answer is slightly less spiritual.
Shocker.
But I love that. Shocker. Big shocker. But for me, I think I tend to be go, go, go until I just can't anymore.
Yeah, and you burn out.
I burn hard. And my body knows, because patterns have shown throughout my whole life. What happens is I will go, go, go. I won't know how to stop, how to take a break, how to rest properly. And then I get sick. And I push my body too far. And then the second I actually rest, I get sick, physically sick. And then I have to take a week, a few days. So I've learned that is not a healthy way to go through life, because nobody wants to get to the point of sickness to bring them out of this pattern. So I think for me, it was finding things that bring me joy and reset me outside of work. Because instead of just leaning into more work to solve the pattern, it's how do I take myself out of work for a moment? What brings me joy? Seeing friends that fuel my energy brings me joy. Doing a workout that makes me sweat and feel accomplished the way that performance does, and emulating that feeling in a different way makes me feel fulfilled. Journaling or listening to music, going to a concert, having connection, and then also being able to, like you said, find silence, because I struggle with that too. But it's, being able to sit with myself and evaluate what I just accomplished and actually owning that accomplishment and being happy with it and being content with it so that I can move forward.
Owning the accomplishment. I would argue that was a pretty spiritual response too, because it's all about accessing something that energizes you.
Yeah.
And you know what energizes you.
Absolutely. And now lately I've been going to church too. And I think for me, it's being around, I always say this to Lauren whenever we go to church, and whatever you believe is what you believe, and that's amazing. But for me, it's when I'm surrounded by other godly people, I just notice they have such a light energy about them.
Good energy. It really is.
Good energy. Nice people. I have never once been to church with you and thought to myself, wow, that person was so rude today.
Yeah.
Never. Everyone is so kind.
Of course, it depends on people. Humans are humans.
Absolutely.
But the energy that we get attracted to and the places that we go, it's always good energy.
And maybe your church is a movie theater. Maybe your church is
a walk in nature.
It can have different connotations, but it's surrounding yourself with a light and an energy that heals you and energizes you and brings you back to your base.
That's where I get stuck, is when I go into the lack mentality. I'm coming from a dark place myself.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to choose steps that are in the light, that are in my purpose, because I myself am feeling this darkness.
Yeah.
Which is why you kind of have to deal with the inside first.
To let it reflect on the outside.
Which is why it's important to know what energizes you and what brings you stillness, and when you can really get clear and hear what is meant for you.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So we hope that you know that you are not alone in your crash outs and your burnouts. We all experience them. We're all going through it, probably right freaking now.
And it's okay to change your mind in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s. It does not matter, okay? Just go to what brings you energy, connect to yourself, connect to what you believe, connect to your community, connect to our podcast, like and subscribe.
Subtle plug. Follow us on social media. Thank you so much. We're on Facebook now. Hey.
Yeah, we're on Facebook now. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.
Literally every platform. Pinterest. I've got it all.
Nat's put it all together for us.
We're everywhere.
So thanks, guys, for listening.
We'll see you next time. Cheers.
Cheers. That was good.
I was actually going to cheers.
Oh, cheers.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope you had a great chat. Lo and Nat can't wait to have you back.